Have you ever desired to just load the plugin and then dial the controls in without any mapping? Welcome to my first unboxing. A few months ago I came across this little box called Dialr, a plugin controller with AI auto mapping, basically the kind of device I've been dreaming for a long time, and it just didn't exist. I've tried my controls on the S49 MK3 keyboard from Native Instruments, the Panorama CS12 from Nectar. They were good, but not exactly what I was aiming for. So once I've discovered Dialr, I started watching every video that was out there, reading everything I could find, going back and forth on, do I really need this one? And apparently I do. Today, Dialr is finally on my desk. So what is Dialr? If you haven't heard of it before, Dialr is made by a small company in Copenhagen, Denmark, called Produsely. It is basically their first hardware product, a dedicated controller for all sort of plugins, compressors, EQs, synth, you name it, whatever you throw at it. The idea is simple, but very useful and time-saving. Instead of you spending the time mapping knobs and doing MIDI learn for every plugin, Dialr uses AI to auto-map your plugins for you. On top of that, it's designed around muscle memory. Certain types of parameter end up on the same knobs over and over again. And the knobs themselves have different sizes, so your hands can learn where things are without staring at the device or the screen at all time. The box itself is pretty minimal, no crazy gamer graphics, no over-the-top branding. It just tells you what it is and gets out of the way, which I kinda like. I don't really need the packaging to scream at me if the product is actually good. So without any further ado, let's crack this thing open. Nothing crazy here, but honestly you don't really need more. All the interesting stuff is in the hardware and the software behind it. A USB cable to hook it up to your computer, which I find to be very nice with an Apple feel quality. Some rubber pads that you can use so it doesn't slide around and doesn't scratch the desk. The Dialr unit itself, nicely protected in bubble wrap. I'm going to lift this out carefully. At the price point this thing comes in at, this is not where you want to do your first drop test. Alright, let's take a closer look at the actual device. First impression when you hold it, it feels solid. The chassis is metal, it has some weight to it. It definitely doesn't feel like a cheap plastic controller. Up top we have a 7-inch touchscreen where you will see your plugin parameters, pages and mappings. Then down here we have the knobs. 12 analog knobs in different sizes. Some larger, some medium, some smaller, and that's intentional. So you can start up recognizing them just by feel without having to constantly look down. On the sides you have two clickable encoders for browsing through plugins, pages, tracks, things like that. 3 dedicated buttons: undo, redo, and bypass plugin. Overall, it really looks and feels like a focused piece of gear, not a toy, not a generic MIDI box, but something that's built to sit in front of you and act like a small plugin console. Let's also discuss the current limitations of the product. Now, super important point here. At the time I'm filming, this Dialr does not have officially support for Logic Pro yet. Right now it's designed to work with Ableton Live and Cubase, and that's where you're supposed to get the full auto mapping experience. Another downside, you might find the price currently being around 650 euros, and this is the price if you buy it now from the first batch. Once the current stock is sold, you will have to pay around 800 euros for the unit. Quick tip, if you live in Europe or you have friends that do and own a VAT-free company, then you will be able to acquire it 20% cheaper. You can find all the needed support on their website, where you are guided step by step how to install the software and how to use it. Also, being a fresh product, of course there are some errors that you may encounter, but Produsely is very mindful and helps you with everything that comes in the way as soon as possible. As you can see here on the website, there are some known issues, but also they provide the way you can solve these problems. Not being able to test it with Logic yet, where I actually produce, mix and master my music, this video serves only as an unboxing and first look over the Dialr, not a full review. What I can do, and I probably will, is install Ableton Live, at least for testing. If you are also interested in my experience with Dialr and Ableton Live, just let me know in the comments and I will do another video on that topic. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you have additional questions or need any other information about the Dialr, write it down in the comments and I will try to answer them all.